I'm Srinivas Gowda, working as an assistant professor in IARE. Okay. Today we'll discuss the constraints in SQL Server. Okay, what is a constraint? Constraints are the rules enforced on the data columns of the table. These are used to limit the type of data that can go into a table. This ensures the accuracy and the reliability of the data in the database. Suppose if there is an integer field, you want only integer values to be entered. You don't want a varchar field to be entered. So for that we have some rules we can enforce on the data columns on the table. The constraints can be applied on a column level or a table level. The column level constraints are applied only to one column, whereas the table level constraints are applied to the whole table. That is, when you apply a constraint to a column, it is for one single column, whereas you apply the constraint for the entire table, all the columns will be affected. So we have couple of constraints available in SQL Server. One is the not null constraint. This ensures that the column cannot have a null value. So when a column is having a not null constraint, you cannot leave the column without having a value. Next is the default constraints. This provides a default value for a column when none is specified. None is specified. That means you provide the default constraint that column. Even if you don't enter a value to that column, by default it takes a default value. For example, get date. So I assign a get date to a column data joining. If I don't provide the date of joining value for this column, automatically it takes the current date. Okay. Next is unique constraint. This ensures that all the values in the column are different. When we have a unique constraint, you cannot have two duplicate values in the same column. Okay. That's the primary key. It is uniquely identifies each row record in a database table. That's the foreign key. Uniquely identifies a row record in one of the given database table. Next, followed by check constraint. This check constraint ensures that all the values in the column satisfy certain conditions. For example, you want to have the age between 12 to 30. When you're trying to enter the age less than 12 or more than 31, then this the value will not be inserted because we have a check constraint between 12 to 30, right? So index. This is used to create and retrieve data from the data very easily. The constraints can be specified when a table is created with the create table statement, or you can use the alter table statement to create constraint even though the table is created, right? Let us see the not null constraint. By default, a column can hold null values. If you don't want a column to have null values, then you need to define such constraint on this column, especially that null is not allowed for this column. For example, student ID, I'm saying not null. So if I try to insert a record into student level without the student ID, then we'll get an error. For example, I'm trying to insert into student views table name, age, and course. I'm not giving the std_id, which is a not null column. So I get an error saying that cannot insert the value null into the column std_id, the table practice.student view. Column does not allow nulls. Insert fails. This is the not null constraint. This is the default constraint. The default constraint provides a default value to a column when the insert into statement does not specify a value. For example, I have created, I have added new column called DOJ, date of joining. I am saying it has a default of get date. That means if I don't provide any value to this DOJ value, then automatically the get date will be inserted. So now here you can see here I'm trying to insert a new student view. I'm inserting a new record with 1022 default date 30 mechanical. I'm not trying to insert the date of joining. Automatically the system will provide the today's date. Correct? Right? Next, while creating a table, we can specify default value. For example, you can specify the DOG, date time, default. Then earlier we have seen while altering a table, we have provided the default constraint. Now in this case, we are providing a constraint while we create a table. The constraint is get date here for the column DOG. To drop the default constraint, you have to say drop constraint name. Okay, here if you see clearly, the constraint name is DG df underscore new student underscore dog. This is a random number given by SQL Server. So we have to say alter table name, drop constant name of constant, right? This is the default constant. And let us see the next constant, unique constant. This will make sure that the values in the column are different. You cannot have two records having the same value. When we enforce the unique constraint, okay. Now here I'm trying to insert a record which is already existing in the database. So I have the unique constraint. You see here, you can see here, UKey underscore new student underscore the random number given by the SQL server. If you try to give this, it will say violation of unique key constraint. You get the name of the constraint cannot insert duplicate key into the table name. The duplicate key is ABC at the rate XYZ. Because my email column is having a unique constraint, it not allow duplicate values. As let us see a primary key. Primary key is a field in the database table which uniquely identifies each row record in a database table. The primary keys must contain unique values. A primary key cannot have a null value. Unlike a unique key. Unique key can have one null value, but the primary key will never have a null value. The table can have only one primary key which may consist of singular multiple fields. When multiple fields are being used as a primary key, they are called composite keys. More than one column has a primary key, then we say it is a composite key. If the table has a primary key defined in a table, you cannot have two records having the same value that of the field, same as unique key. Note, you could use this concept while creating table. For example, here is the syntax to create a primary key constraint while we are creating the table itself. I'm creating a table called class having class ID and class name. I'm making class ID as a primary key. So here primary key column name. When you see in the SQL Server Object Explorer, we see that the classic ID will be represented by the primary key, right? Whenever we create a primary key, a cluster index would be created. The name of the is pk underscore class underscore the random number given by SQL Server. This is the primary key. Now let us see the next key. Same key, okay. This earlier we have seen how to create a primary key or creation of table. Now this is the example where how we can create a primary key after table is created by using alter command. So alter table class, I'm adding primary ID, class ID. Class ID will be the primary key. Okay. If you want to add two or more columns, you can say we can add primary key, the name of the columns. By this, we can create a composite primary key. To drop the key, we say alter table class, drop constant name. The constant name is pk underscore class. This is the unique number given by SQL Server. We have seen primary key. Let us see the foreign key. A foreign key is a key used to link two tables together. This is sometimes also called as a referencing key. A foreign key is a column or a combination of columns whose value matches a primary key in different table. The relationship between two tables matches the primary key in one of the tables is a foreign key in the second table. If the table has a primary key defined on any field, you cannot have two records having the same value of the field, as told earlier, like unique key. In this case, the student view is one table, and there is one more table called subject. In this, std underscore ID is the primary key. In the subject table, subject ID is the primary key. Now we are going to enforce a foreign key relation between marks, subject, and student view. So we are adding the student ID from the student table and the subject ID from the subject table. Okay. Now we have created a new table called marks, having marks ID as the primary key and two foreign keys. Right. Foreign keys. The syntax would be alter table name, the foreign key table name, add foreign key. We're adding student ID from the student table references. Student is my primary table. The column to be made as a foreign key is the std underscore ID. By this, when you see in the Explorer, we see like this. Fk is the foreign key underscore marks is the second table, the foreign key table name. followed by the column name for which you want to create the foreign key, followed by the unique number given by the SQL server. By this, we can create a foreign key while we by altering the existing table. However, we can also create the table level itself. So the syntax would be create table name, column name, what you want, constraint. So we are adding here constraint is the name of the constraint. Okay, it refers to the parent table. Parent table would be the student ID, the parent column, number of columns if you want one or more. Okay, we have some default attributes for this: on delete, no action, cascade, set null, set default. On update, no action, cascade, set null, set default. We'll see these options in the next slides. Okay, foreign key is you have seen earlier that this was a syntax, right? While creating a foreign key, while creating table itself. FK underscore name is the name of the foreign key constraint you want to create. Child 1, child column. The columns in the child table, the second table, that will reference the primary key in the parent table. Okay, this is the references is the parent table. Okay, then next we have on which columns you want to create the foreign keys is column is the parent column 1, parent column 2. By this we can create a foreign key while creating the table itself. Now let us see the default on delete no actions. Okay, once we have created the foreign key, we have a couple of options given. On delete, what should happen? Here we have 2 or 3 options. Optional. On delete, suppose you are trying to delete the child record, what will happen to the main record? See, it specifies what to do with the child data when the parent data is deleted. See, you have 2 tables, primary and foreign, on the child table. What should happen when the parent data is deleted? Okay. Now here we have on delete, we have 4 options: no action, cascade, set null, or set default. On update, also same thing. Okay. Now we will see each around. What is no action? It is used in conjunction with on delete or on update. That means no action is performed with the child data when the parent data is deleted or updated. So once you have deleted the parent record, you are not doing any action on the child table. That is no action. Cascade it is used in conjunction with on delete or update. That means the child data is either deleted or updated when the parent data is recorded or updated. Suppose you have to delete the parent record, the corresponding child record also will be deleted or updated. This is the cascade. Let us then set null. In this case, you will make the child data to null when the parent data is deleted or updated. Set default. This is nothing but we will give a default value to the child table values when the column data is deleted or updated. Right. Now we have seen how to create foreign key. The std ID is the primary key in the student table. Subject ID is the foreign key, primary key in the subject table. We are creating a marks table having two foreign keys. One is student ID referring to student table. The subject ID referring to subject. So the name of keys will appear like this. Now check constraint. As I said, check constraint is to manage the range of the value given to the column. Suppose you want to the age to be greater than 18. Okay. So you say alter table student name, add constraint, check what the age of the column should be. The column value should be more than 18. If you're trying to insert a 17 years age, we will say the constraint has failed for check constraint. To drop the check constraint, we have to name alter table name. The name of the constraint is check age. Okay, this is how we can add a new check constraint to existing table. The index constraint. See, whenever you create index is nothing but a mechanism in SQL Server to give the data at a faster thing. The index is used to create and retrieve data from the data very quickly. The index can be created with a singular group of columns in a table. When the index is created, it is assigned a row ID for each row before it sorts the data. Okay. When your index is created, it creates one row ID for each row. So whenever you want to fetch the data, immediately it goes to a particular row and gives the value back. Proper index are good for proper indexes are good for performance in the large database. But you need to be careful while creating an index. The selection of fields depends on what you are using in your SQL queries. When you create an index on a single or multiple columns using the syntax below, create index name on table name, the name of the column you want to create index. To create an index on the age column to optimize the search on the students for specific age, you can use the following SQL syntax like create index name on table name student, column name with std age. Okay, now you see here pk underscore already here std id is std id is a primary key, so automatically cluster index will be created. Same way, now we have created one index called id underscore age for it is a non-unique, non-clustered. There can be only one cluster index for a table. You have to drop the constraint. You'll have to say alter table name, drop the constraint name. Next, we have the integrity constraints. We have already seen that it takes part in the referential integrity. They are primary key, foreign key, unique constraint, and other constraint we mentioned above. These will make sure that your data is in consistent state. Okay. This completes the unique constraints in SQL Server. Thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.